I'm going to show you real quick and easy how to use a simple array in Java, how to fill it and how to print it. So I'll just create a class called ArrayFun, double click it for editing, and I'm going to use some of the code that BlueJ starts us out with, so I'm going to change this to an array just by adding the square brackets to it, so it's no longer primitive int, and we'll just call, maybe call it numbers array. I'm going to fill it in the constructor. So first we have to initialize it. It's a Java object, so I have to declare its size and have Java create it for filling. So I do that with this line of code. So I'm creating a new int array of size 10. I declared its data type up here as an instance variable, and I'm just constructing it down here with its size. So now I'm just going to use a loop to fill it. Array indexes, the first position starts at 0, so I'm going to start my index at 0. And I'm going to do it up until the length, so I fill the full array. Because the array will go from 0 to 9, so we're going to do it from 0 to 9. And we want to fill each position, so I do I++. And the assignment for an array is just the array name, some index point to put it at, and what I want to put in it. So I'm going to fill it with 1 through 10, so I'm just going to do I+1 on this side. So when I is 0, the first position I'll put in the number 1. Oh, numbers array. Now what a lot of new programmers will do now at this point, after the loop is done and the array is full, they'll just try to print out the array like this, and I'll show you what happens when we do that. Now nothing's going to happen yet until I write my main, right? So let's do that real quick. It's always public static void main string array args. Now I want this constructor to run, so I have to call it, right? How do I call the constructor? It's the class name, some variable equals new, the constructor name, which is the class name, any inputs. My constructor needs no inputs. I added no inputs to it. So that, now when I run main, this will run the constructor. So let's compile it. I'll come over and run it. Right click, call my main. You can see it prints out this funky sort of hexadecimal address. That's because Java array is an object. It's not a primitive. So if I want to print it, I actually have to call a method, write some code, whatever you want to do. I could put a loop right in the constructor, but that's not very clean. So let's do a print array. I don't have to pass anything in because my array is an instance variable. So this method can also access it. So let's get rid of this line that doesn't work. And I'm just going to copy my loop because that's going to help me nicely. So now instead of assigning something into the array, I'm going to print it. Do a print so they're all on the same line. We're going to print each item followed by a space to space it out nicely. And then I'm just going to call this from my main. How do I call a method in the class? It's the object variable name of the class I just created, the method name, and any inputs it might need. I need no inputs, so I just do that. Compile, didn't make any mistakes. Come on back over and run it. And now you can see I get my nice contents of my array printed.